Let's dive into Luna's training so we can stay consistent at home. Whenever she's doing behaviors that we want to keep seeing, whether that's following our commands or she's just doing nice, calm behaviors we want to keep seeing, we're going to reinforce and reward those with either praise, petting, or treats. Then, when she's doing things that we don't want to see, whether that's jumping up on us or she's not following our commands, we're going to follow through with our training equipment so we can decrease those unwanted behaviors. So, let's go over Luna's training equipment. This is her prong collar. She's going to wear this whenever she is on a leash. How we take this on and off is we are just going to secure one of the links and push through like so. And then to put it back together, we're going to pinch this prong and put it through the holes of the other prong. Then when she has this on, the leash is going to attach to the D-ring that swivels. How we use this, say she is in the heel position. Heel means walk next to me on that nice loose leash on the left side. Say she starts to pull ahead or she does something we don't want to see in the heel. We're going to say no, marking an incorrect behavior, pop of the leash, and then we remind her heel. So no, pop, heel. And that's going to be how it works with every command that we do with her. And then, of course, when she gets back into the position where we want her, we can give her that verbal praise, petting, and treats to reinforce the behavior we want to keep seeing. Now with her remote collar, how we turn this on and off, there are red dots on both the collar and the remote. We touch these together. That green light flashing means the collar is on, charged, and ready to go. On and off button on the back of the remote. We push and hold until the screen lights up. You're going to see level 25 appear on the screen. This is Luna's working level. And then today we're going to focus on the black S button. S just stands for stimulation, so it's kind of like an electric muscle stimulator. So say she's in that heel position again and she's starting to pull ahead. We're going to say no, marking the incorrect behavior, black S button, heel, no, button, heel. Then depending on the level of distraction we have, we may use one of these, we may use both of these. It depends on the situation that we are in with Luna. With the remote collar, it's going to be the first thing that we put on in the morning, and then it's going to be the last thing that we take off at night, so we always have a form of communication with Luna throughout the day. With the prong collar, she's going to wear this whenever she is on a leash. So in the house, we may have the leash on in the house to introduce some new boundaries and rules. Then we can slowly fade away from needing the leash and the prong on in the house. So now let's go over her commands. We've already kind of gone over heel, so about 80 to 90% of our walks with Luna should be in the heel position. The other 10 to 20%, we can give her the release word free. Free means she's not in any set command. That's going to be her time to do her business, sniff and wander and do her own thing. Now we have sit. Sit means stay is implied until she's given the release word free. This is really good for those door manners. So whether we're coming in or out of a door, we're going to have Luna sit. So this way she isn't barging through doors. When we say sit, sit means stay is implied. So she has to stay until we give her that release word. So if we open the door and she gets up, we're going to follow through with the training equipment until she gets it right. So we can set the same boundaries that we have here at home. So that way there is no asking her to do it several times. So after we open the door, we have two options. We can either heel her through the door with us, or we can tell her free and let her go through the door on her own. It's completely up to the situation. Now we have down. Down also means stay is implied as well. With down, we're never going to put Luna in a down and then walk 10 feet away from her and then call her to us, because then she will get rewarded for coming to us and not staying in that down stay. So whenever we're practicing the down, we can do a little bit of a distraction, but then we're always going to go back to Luna and reward her and release her from where she is, so she knows that that down stay is what we're rewarding her for. And then also when we reward as low to the ground as possible, so she knows where that positive zone is when she's doing the down. Now we have place. Place is a boundary stay, ideally on an elevated bed. When you're practicing this one, when you first introduce it, I would suggest having a leash on her, so if she does get off the place bed, we can guide her back with the leash. And then when you have first big distractions coming over, absolutely have the leash on so we can guide her back, and then you can slowly fade away from needing the leash once she's got a firm understanding of place at home. With place 2, we're not going to release her from a distance, because then she'll get rewarded for coming to us and not staying in the place stay. So if we have people coming over or we're doing a little bit of distraction, we're going to go back to Luna and release her from where she is. And when we reward, we're going to put the reward on the place bed so she knows where that positive zone is. Now we have come when called. When practicing this one, we want to have a 30 to 50 foot leash on Luna, so just in case she does ignore us or she gets a little bit extra distracted, we have a way to communicate that with her and reel her back into our space like a fish if we need to. With this, we'll give her the release word free, because ideally when we need her to come back to us, she's going to be in that distracted state of mind doing her own thing. So we'll let her go get distracted, do her own thing. Once she's distracted, we can call her to us. We're going to say, Luna, come, or we can just say come in a nice, loud, firm tone. As she's coming to us, we're going to praise her, letting her know that that is what we're asking her to do, and making it a lot of fun for her. Once she gets into our space, we'll have her sit, and then we'll give her the reward. The reason we have her sit is so that way when she gets into our space, she can't just run back off and go get distracted with whatever she was doing. So with this, we're going to reward every single time because come when called is very important. So we want to build up that positive of her coming into our space. Say she makes a mistake, we ask her to come and she ignores us. We're just going to say no, marking the incorrect behavior, follow through with one of the training equipments, and then we're going to call her again, and then we're going to go right back into the praising. And when she gets into her space, she's still going to get rewarded. Just because she makes a mistake out there, we're always going to be the positive. Now we have leave it. Leave it means just don't grab that. So whenever you toss something on the ground, you'll say leave it. If she does, great. If not, we're going to follow through with the training equipment. Start out with dog safe food so that way if she does grab it, not too big of a deal. And then when you first practice this, I suggest having the leash and prong on so that way we can guide her into a different scenario if we need to. We'll toss on the ground, say leave it. If she does great, we can give her the reward. And then you can also give her the option to get it off the ground. But if you never want her to pick things up off the ground, you can just remove it from the ground and never give her that option. But if we say leave it and she doesn't follow through the training equipment, then we're going to try it again until she can get it right. So that is all of Luna's commands. So we're going to make sure we give a lot of positive reinforcement with all of the things that we want to keep seeing. Since she's young, we want to show her all of those behaviors that we want to keep seeing. Then with those behaviors that we don't want to see, like the jumping up, we're going to follow through with the training equipment so we can decrease those behaviors that we don't want to see. So that is everything. We're going to have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to watch Luna do her commands.
Down. Good girl. Down. Good girl. Down. Good. Down. Down. Good girl. Down. Good. Down. Girl. Good. Down. Down. Free. Good girl. Good job.
Let's dive a little deeper into the remote collar. We've gone over how to turn it on. Now let's go over how to turn it off. It's the same concept as turning it on. We're going to press those two red dots together. That red light means the collar is off. On and off button on the back of the remote. Push and hold until the screen says off. Now let's go over the other buttons on the remote. We've already gone over that black S button. Black S button is for the number that you see on the screen, which is level 25. Say level 25 isn't working for Luna, whether she's having too much of a response to it or she's just not responding to it at all. What we can do is we can absolutely change her level, because with different distractions, she may need a little bit more to communicate with her, or at home when not much is going on, she may need a little bit of a lower level to communicate with her. So what we'll do is we'll hold down on the dial until that 1D at the top of the screen starts flashing, and then we're going to rotate it to whatever number is going to work for Luna in the time. So right now, level 25 has been working great, so we're going to change it back to level 25, hold down on the dial, and this is going to lock it into place, so that way when we put it in our pocket, we can't accidentally change it and then wonder why she isn't responding to us. So then on the other side, on the same side as the red S button or the black S button, we have a red S button. This is a boost feature. So if you see, her level is 25, but when I press the red S button, it is going to jump it to 45. This is a boost feature, so whenever she is doing something dangerous that's going to cause her harm, like she's chasing after a car, we have a way to communicate with her in a very quick, fast way of letting her know, like, hey, that's dangerous, you shouldn't do that. So level 25 reaches about here, but when she is excited chasing a car, she is up here. So now we have a way to match her and communicate with her when she is in that high adrenaline state of mind. So the red S, emergency cases only. On the other side of the remote, we have a T button. This is a vibrate feature. We like to use this to make sure that the collar is on and ready to go before we put it on Luna, but you can absolutely use it when you get further into her training and she has a good understanding of the boundaries, but she's starting to kind of push the boundary and you just want to give her a little bit of a reminder of like, hey, knock it off, we don't like seeing what you're doing. But that'll be further into her training. On the back of the button, we have an M/C button. This stands for momentary or continuous. In the beginning, we started out at a very low level on continuous to introduce the collar in a positive way and get her associated with getting treats with the collar. And then when she got further into her training, we switched over to momentary at a little bit of a higher level, and she should stay on momentary the rest of her training. On and off button also works as a flashlight feature. What we can do is instead of holding the on and off button, we're going to press it. This is going to turn on a flashing flashlight. Press it twice. It's a solid flashlight. That third time turns it off. So if you let Luna out at night, you can see her and what she's doing and where she's at. Both the remote and collar are rechargeable. Charging port on the remote is right here underneath the on and off button. For the collar, it is underneath the prongs. It stays charged for about 2 days if she wears it for about 12 to 14-hour days. So if you charge it every other day, you should be good. Then in the box, I know Luna has a little bit of longer hair. So if you notice that her prongs aren't making good contact with her neck, there are longer prongs in here that you can switch her over to. So that way we're making sure that these prongs are making good contact with her if her hair starts to get in the way of the other shorter prongs. The remote or the collar comes with a dual charger, so you can charge them both at the same time. Once the collar starts to die, it will start flashing red instead of green, so it'll let you know whenever it's starting to get to the end of its life. At the bottom of the box, we have a manual, so if you have any other questions about the remote, or say you want to flip one of the features and use it, you can absolutely go over that. Like the vibrate feature can also be a tone feature if that's something that you want to work with Luna. Both of them are waterproof, so if they get wet, not too big of a deal. But if Luna's going to stay wet for an extended period of time, I would rotate her collar so that way it's not just rubbing and irritating one part of her neck a little bit too much. And then it does have a 2-year warranty, so if you have any issues with the remote or collars, you can contact the company and they should send you over a new one or discuss options of what can happen next. That is all of the other features of the remote. So just like in the beginning, we're going to reinforce and reward behaviors we want to keep seeing. With the behaviors that we don't want to see, we're going to follow through with the training equipment. We're going to have fun, stay consistent, and that's everything.